Well, welcome to the Summer Kitchen at Liberty Grove Historical Society. This Summer Kitchen building was actually a picker shack at the Sam Dahlstrom Family Orchard. Migrant workers lived and cooked in the building 1946 to 1948. The building was set on this foundation in 2009, and for display purposes, it opened in 2011 to celebrate the Summer Kitchen's many farms. To celebrate the summer kitchens that many farms built so that they could do their cooking outside of the house to get away from the heat. The ramp that we have here was added in 2014. The ceiling, when you come on inside too, if you visit us, on your walking tour maps, it's number 8. So when you come on in, take a look at the rafters in the ceiling. You're going to see the names of some of the pickers that were here. The teams that they worked with, the yellow team or the purple team, would go out, and then the years that they were here. So make sure that you take a look up there. But for today's purposes, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the things that early people who lived here and worked up here would have been engaged with as part of the chores, if you will. Come on inside. We're going to start over here, but I wanted to share with you some of the family names associated with the items found here. We have Oscar and Millicent Dijsterud. We have Earl and Florence Anderson, Charles and Bertha Ruckert, August and Mary Brandt, Frank and Floyd Fandry, and Jay and Hannah Rogers, and Irvin or Dick and Mildred Wills and their son Gene. More about those guys a little bit later. And a reminder that we have a program coming up this Monday starting at 7 o'clock, and the name of that is the Wills Store, formerly in Ellison Bay. You're going to want to be here at 7 o'clock. Well, ladies, you know that the days of the weeks have different chores. Now, we're going to wash on Monday, we're going to iron on Tuesday, mend on Wednesday, churn on Thursday, clean on Friday, bake on Saturday, and of course, rest on Monday. Well, we're going to hit some of those chores today. But let's start off with cabbages. This is a 3-blade kraut cutter. This was from Indianapolis, Indiana, and it has a swan logo on it. You would make your slaw for now and your sauerkraut for winter. Make sure that you pick those light green heads because they are the best. This is a triple blade cutter, as you can see. And after you cut your cabbage, you're going to put it in your crocks. Take a look at this one. A 1 or 3 gallon crock would hold about 8 weeks. It would take about 4 weeks to pickle the cabbage for sauerkraut. The larger crocks took longer. 10 pounds of shredded cabbage would fit into that 2-pound crock. Add 6 tablespoons of pickling salt. Press it down with your clean hands until the level of the natural juices drawn from the cabbage covers the surface. Pour water into the ring of your crock and make sure that there's always water in that. You could use a fermenting weight, anything clean or heavy, to press that cabbage down into the brine. And then cover the fermenting crock with a cloth or towel. Goodness. Goodness. All right, well, let's move on over here to talk about the many different kind of butter churns that we have. Take a look at those. Let's start with the one over here, which is actually another 2-gallon crock from Johnsburg, Somerset County, Pennsylvania. This crock and butter churn actually came from Christy Christensen's great-great-grandfather Moller's farm. It's from the late 1800s to early 1900s. Spent a whole day doing that. There we go. If you look at the top of the table, we've got a couple of churns up here. One is called a daisy churn with the black lid on there. Glass with a wooden paddle and black metal screw on top. It was patent in February 14th of 1922. And then it was found in the Oscar Disterud family, which the Lindels bought in 1998. There's another one here, this glass churn. It's called the Farm Master Dairy Supplies glass butter churn from Sears and Roebuck, 1920 to 1930. Glenn Anderson's father, Earl Anderson, had this butter churn on his farm at the end of Sunnyside Lane in Ellison Bay. Well, you know, if you've got your butter, then there are a couple of other things that you could do with that. Where was I going? Oh, here we go. Take a look at this. This is a really neat dish from the Ruckarts. And what you would do, this is a butter dish. You would get this out when company's coming. You would put ice down here, and then you put your butter on top. Keeps your butter nice and cold for your guests to enjoy. How about that? Isn't that beautiful? And I don't see something else I was looking for. I think we'll get to that over there. Big part of our work week is laundry, and boy, do we have a lovely display of laundry items here in the summer kitchen. Just a heads up, too, during the tractor show, which is coming up July 27th and 28th, we are going to have several washing machines outside the barn on the north end of the barn for you to take a look at. But let's take a look at these beauties that we have here. Do you see a tin? Oh, this is called a tin boiler. And that was, a lot of people have those and are collecting those still for antiques. We have one at our house. Water had to be hauled to boil over a fire or stove. This is from the early 1900s. This actually belonged to the Wills family, and it was left in the home of Minnie Peterson across from the post office where Arlene Wills and her husband, Wes Lawrence, lived. Well, moving on, you've got your laundry done, and you need to dry it. Well, here's a little drying rack. Look at that beautiful thing. Those towels are from several different people in this area, but it was found in a cottage on Cedar Branch Road in Ellison Bay. Again, the towels from a variety of families. Isn't that beautiful? And then right below Cheryl, there's a wooden washer machine. Take a look at that. It's from 1900, and it was actually from the Mink River logging camp. Oh my goodness. A little bit of a step up from just the tin thing. All right, now we have washboards. Take a look at those. The wooden one, used in the Ellison Bay Lodge or the old Wickman House, now the Osteria Tre Tassi, operated by Olga and Gilbert Wickman in the early 1900s. We have a glass one there from the National Washboard Company. It's from early 1900. And the last one, to the far right there, was called the Double Handy, early 1900s, used by the Brandt family. Take a look at this Lovell wringer. You want to get the excess water out of your clothing? That you would use in the late 1800s to early 1900s to wring water out from clothing that had been washed. Well, let's take a look at this modern machine over here, this Speed Queen. Look at that baby. This was from Ribbon, Wisconsin. It was used by Chester and Helen Linden. Very modern, very fancy. Over here is a laundry basket. Let's go back over there. It's collapsible wire. It was called the World's Best Laundry Basket, sold in Will's store in Ellison Bay. And again, Will's store is our featured program for Monday, July 15th at 7 o'clock. And again, the washer machines, these may be among them, will be out on the grounds when you come for the tractor show. Well, after all the washing, there's the ironing, and we have several other irons that are in the log house. This being one of them. Oh my goodness, that's heavy. I like the one that I have now. Beautiful. All right, well, after all of those chores, Cheryl, don't you think it's time for a coffee break? I know I do. All right, let's take a look at some of these things that we have here. This coffee grinder is from the early 1930s, handmade by Frank Bandry. Look at that. He would use that not only for coffee, but also for poppy seeds. Interesting. The coffee pot that we have here, also found in the log house, is from Hannah Rogers from the early 1940s. And then what I want to show you here is, and some of you might be familiar with these, but these are cream topper spoons. And you would use them to dip down into your bottles or your creamers, that wherever you stored your milk and the cream would rise to the top. You would use this to pull that cream out. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. That is about all we're going to show you in the summer kitchen today, and we hope that you make this a stop on your trip to the Historical Society. I know it's one of Cheryl's favorite places to be. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, we're open on Thursdays and Saturdays from 10 until 2 o'clock, and during events such as the tractor show, again coming up July 27th and 28th. We'll hope you stop by the summer kitchen on your next trip.